Okay, so next question that we have. This one is from Jovi, and she says, what happens if the tenant buyer doesn't make payments? Can the tenant buyer move someone else in? Are you responsible for repairs? If the house were to catch on fire, who's responsible for paying insurance? And how much do you put aside for repairs if you're held responsible? What about vacancies in case you have to evict a tenant? Holy smokes, we got a lot of questions, okay? Good questions, very good questions. Let's hammer through them one at a time. What happens if the tenant buyer doesn't make payments? Hold on, let's stop right there. We're not talking about regular renters here. Regular renters will put $800 down and pay $800 a month, and they will skip out on you at midnight, and they will just, all over the place, okay? We all know 1,100,000 different bad stories about regular renters. Can I get an amen? We all know bad stories about regular renters. When you introduce the term, because it's not just a word, a term tenant buyer into the question, we are now talking about a totally different person with a totally different mindset, with totally different goals, totally different life goals, totally different bracket, all right? Totally different upbringing, totally different, probably totally different age range too, okay? Tenant buyers will put $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $40,000, okay? They will put something with a comma and mostly 5 figures. They will give you that to be able to move into the house. Just the caliber of person that is able to come up with $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $40,000 takes them completely out of the ballpark of people that are going to be putting $800 in as a security deposit and stressed out if you ask for another $500 for a pet fee. And you want first month's rent? Oh my gosh, that's like $2,100. Is it? Yeah. Okay, so regular renters stressed out about how they're going to come up with $2,100 to move into your house versus somebody that has $20,000 in the bank. It's a totally different person. They have made some sort of bridge in life to go from being the regular renter to wanting to be a tenant buyer. And so when somebody gives you $15,000 or $20,000 to move into one of your houses, they are more than likely, I'm not going to say never because I've had it happen to me too, but they are more than likely not going to skip payments. Because if they skip payments, they forfeit that $20,000 that they gave you. If they're late on a payment, they may not get any credit towards their purchase price that month. My tenant buyers pay on time or early because it benefits them in the long run not to skip out on me. We're talking about two totally different people. When we talk about regular renters that are not going to pay and they're going to skip out on you in the middle of the night and they're going to tear up your sheetrock and their dog's going to pee on the floor and all that stuff. Those are regular renters. We're talking about tenant buyers. Tenant buyers have money. They have good jobs. They are trying to get out of the regular rental hole that they have lived in their entire life, that their mom has lived in her entire life. They are trying to achieve the goal of home ownership. And we give them the opportunity to achieve their goals. So when we talk about tenant buyers and you say, what if they don't make the payments? Well, they gave me $15,000 or $20,000 up front. And as long as I don't go to Vegas on that $15,000 or $20,000, if my payment on this house is $800, then technically they've made my payment for like the next 2 years. So if they give me $15,000 or $20,000 and my payment is $800, somebody calculate how many times I can make an $800 a month payment with their $15,000. I'm not good at math. I proved that the other night on the Deal Makers Club, okay? I'm not good at math, and I don't have to be good at math to do real estate because there's calculators, there's formulas, there's spreadsheets, there's all sorts of things. But if my tenant buyers skip out and don't make their payment and I have to evict them, which involves sending an email to my attorney, hey, Evan, 2225 Center Circle moved out. We need to evict them. And he says, okay, that'll be $175. Okay. You still got their money? Yeah. We'll use it to make the payment until you get another tenant buyer in. Okay. 18, almost 19 times. I can almost go 19 months. Thank you, Al. I can almost go 19 months. Almost a year and a half. Actually, 18 months is a year and a half. I could go a year and a half. If they gave me $15,000 to move in and my payment is $800 a month, I could go a year and a half before I ever had to come out of pocket to make these payments. Awesome! Okay, so tenant buyers, if they gave me $20,000, I could probably go 2 years with an empty house before I ran out of money in my pocket. Okay? Can they move someone else in? Technically, they can't. Physically, I don't know. I try not to go see my houses. I try not to talk to my tenant buyers ever again after they move into my house. I try to completely step away because I do not want a hovering landlord. I don't want to be a helicopter landlord, okay? I don't want to go by and check and see if they mowed. I don't want to go by and see if they've cleaned the house. I don't want to go by and see if the fan is still on the back porch. I don't want to know. I want to train them to get a mortgage, to be a real adult, and get a payment to the bank, because if the toilet gets clogged up when you got a mortgage, you're not going to call the bank. You're going to call a plumber. So don't call me, because I'm like a bridge program to getting there. Toilet gets clogged up, call a plumber. Don't call me. I don't do poop. Trained Abby to pick up her own. Okay? So technically they can't move somebody else in. Physically, I don't know that I would ever know if they do or not, but they don't need, they don't have the ability to move somebody else in, is what I'm saying. And when their time comes up that they have to get the mortgage, I will know if they move somebody else in or not. Lisa says, even if I use $10,000 to go buy something else or flip something else, I could still have enough money to make 6 months of payments. And these houses don't stay vacant for 6 months. They don't stay vacant for 2 or 3 most of the time. Okay? It just don't happen.